All right, so my guest today really doesn't need much of an introduction. If you're on LinkedIn, you know Barry Wolfe. But Barry is a senior managing director at Marcus Millichap. He's head of the Wolfe Retail Group. He specializes in triple net single tenant retail and shopping centers. Some of you may know this, but Barry was a practicing attorney for 10 years, real estate attorney. But then he went respectable and joined the commercial real estate fraternity. He's an alumni of University of Georgia, go Bulldogs. English Bulldog, by the way, not a lot of people know that. And the dog's called Uga, right?
Uga.
Uga. I dated a girl that went to University of Georgia, so that's why I know that.
Right.
So anyway, welcome Barry to the call. I guess my first question is really an obvious one is, has commercial real estate been helped, if your clients been helped by the fact that you are an attorney? I mean, are you giving legal advice and real estate advice at the same time, or how have you used that for your advantage?
Good thought. No, first of all, thanks for having me so much. I'm amped up. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. And we are, just to throw in a plug, and you didn't ask me to do this at all, but my team, we do use Crexi. I was saying before the call, we've got 25 properties plus our own listings on Crexi. So certainly appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah, go for that. You know what I'm gonna do while you're talking? I'm gonna just pull up your listings. How about that?
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
that's not your listings.
Attorney on the commercial real estate side for about 8 years before this. I'm very careful when I'm working with clients. I'm not your attorney. I'm not licensed in the state of Florida. I am a member of the Georgia bar, but not the Florida bar. So I'm careful there. But where it does help is just seeing issues before they arise. It's, there's a lot of times I'm able to just kind of see what's going to be a problem, reviewing a lease, reviewing a contract, reviewing due diligence. So in that regard, it is very helpful just having navigated through that as an attorney, but also on the brokerage side, having closed north of 500 deals in itself helps as far as just kind of seeing what the issues might be. But yeah, it certainly does help having that legal degree. And it's just something that is a little bit unique, and it's certainly a bit of a value add for sure.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's elephant in the room, COVID, retail, winners and losers. What's your perspective on it? I mean, I know some people have been sending around letters, Starbucks sent one saying they weren't going to pay any rent, and, Publix sort of changed midstream there and decided they came out sort of winners in this sort of thing. What are you seeing out there as far as the impact of COVID on the retail space?
Yeah, I mean, retail's had some challenges. I mean, retail's been hit with COVID. There's no doubt. I mean, we basically shut down the economy for several months. So, a lot of different retail sectors have been hit hard. One that has done well is obviously it's the grocery sector, the drugs, pharmacies, grocery stores, Publix we've talked about. I mean, here in Florida has done phenomenal. The drugstores have done well. The other sectors, whether that's the restaurants, certainly have been hit really hard. Just general retail, the dollar stores have done well. The fitness sector has been hit hard. They're just starting to open. What's interesting is, if we'd had this conversation 6 months ago, we'd be talking about the five F's. I mean, fashion, furniture, fun, and just experiential retail. Everything we would have been talking about 6 months ago have been the sectors that have really been struggling, which is quite ironic because we all, going into this, the gyms were hot, and people had, retail or landlords that maybe would have shied away from gyms 5, 7, 10 years ago. Now we're all over gyms. Restaurants were killing it. Anything entertainment related or experiential retail was doing quite well. So that's the ironic thing with this. It's the sectors that were really booming going into this have been hit disproportionately hard during this.
Yeah, and what about deal flow? I mean, February, you had projections of what you were going to close, what deals were going to happen. Did that change at all? Did deals still get done, although there's probably a little bit of retrading, some horse trading going on?
There was some of that. I mean, my team, fortunately, we were able to keep our deals moving forward and get them closed. We've even closed some multi-tenant retail deals that I would have thought I wasn't sure we'd be able to do. So yeah, we've been able to keep things moving forward. I will say deal flow in general is definitely off. I mean, across the industry, not just our team, but across the sector, across the industry. I think we're going to look at the end of this year and see just velocity of deals in the retail sector in particular, probably off somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50% compared to the last couple of years.
Okay.
that are down as far as just deals closed.
So you don't see a sort of pent up demand. I mean, look, 1031s still need to happen. Are people going to come back and, in June now? I think, I know on the side of Crexi, traffic is, spiked end of May, June, offers are coming in. So it seems like from our perspective on a nationwide arena, the market has recovered, in fact, even rebounded better than it was back in February. So do you think that's just going to sort of bring us back to even, or do you think there'll be a drop off?
I think there's going to be an overall drop off as far as just number of deals that actually get closed over the course of 2020. And I don't say that being pessimistic, negative at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we've just seen fewer deals that are happening. Cap rates have held up extremely well. That being said, and right now you bring up 1031 buyers. We've got a 1031 deadline with the extension that was in place till July 15th.
Yeah.
So we're saying, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of activity on the deals we have. I mean, we place multiple deals under letter of intent. We're getting offers. We place deals under contract. We're closing deals. So I mean, we're continuing to stay exceedingly busy. I mean, I'm working more hours now than I did pre-COVID.
But Barry, we all know working more hours doesn't mean more money. I mean, we were all around in the financial crisis in 2018. You worked around the clock and to make $1. So, but you're working harder. But you're still doing the deals and closing it. So let me ask you. So cap rates, you brought it up. Interest rates down.
Right.
You would expect cap rates to also fall, but you're saying they're staying about the same. What is that? Uncertainty about the actual underlying lease? Is that what's sort of balancing things out?
Well, I mean, cap rates don't necessarily move in lockstep with interest rates. And while you're right, I mean, interest rates over the last year have been declining and are low. That being said, debt is not easy to come by right now. Lenders are being extremely cautious. So they're underwriting borrowers carefully, they're underwriting deals carefully. So yes, while rates are down, debt is not freely available. It's not iced up by any stretch, and it's definitely improved over the last 60, 90 days.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were at an all-time, in the net lease sector, we were at an all-time low in cap rate. So when I say they've stayed about the same, that's incredibly positive.
They couldn't get much lower, right? Yeah. Well, so talk about, I mean, look, don't talk about your specific listings because you're trying to sell them all, but presumably there's some winners and losers in all this. I mean, as you go through your listings here, a Wawa at 4.5 cap, there is no way to go down, and people still need to put fuel in their cars. So that's probably unaffected by COVID. But presumably some tenants are different. Like you take a Dollar General, also probably doing still pretty well. But then you take something like a Starbucks, which may be, I don't know if it probably has had a negative effect. I mean, you can't sit in a Starbucks, but you can still do takeout. And then you've got something like an Aspen Dental, which I don't know if they're even still around. I mean, so what are you seeing out there as far as different tenant types?
Yeah, I mean, you raise a couple there. I mean, we actually did close recently on a Heartland Dental, a shopping center that was anchored by Heartland Dental, and got an attractive cap rate on that. And they were not paying rent. They were not open. Aspen, the dental clinics, the Heartland, the Aspens, they had to close down for a period of time. They have, for the most part, reopened again. You mentioned, I mean, the dollar stores are crushing it. I mean, the Dollar General is doing fantastic right now, just as they did in the Great Recession. They're doing really well now. I think they're going to continue doing well. The QSR sectors in general, most of the QSR operators I'm talking to, their sales are back to normal, and in many instances even ahead of normal. While the dining rooms aren't open, like you said, they're really doing quite well with drive-through. The restaurant, casual dining is having some real challenges. The Canes, the Chili's, the Outbacks, the Applebee's, the Red Lobsters, those are having a tough time right now. They've done some to-go and doing a lot of to-go, but they're nowhere. I mean, they're off 30, 40% as far as sales-wise. So that's one sector that has really been hit hard. This fitness sector, like we talked about a few minutes ago, has also been hit hard.
Sure. A couple of questions came in. One's about QSR concept. It's anonymous, so I can't tell you who it is, but they've said in the past 2 years, the price of land has been $20 to $30 a foot, which doesn't work for the concept. Do you see any opening for this type of retail?
Opening as a new location, I'm not sure exactly.
No, I guess the question is, do you see sellers of the land coming off that $20 to $30 price to make it affordable or economically viable to build a QSR concept?
I think they're going to have to. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a fair number of vacancies coming up here in the next 6 to 12 months. We're going to see, while the QSR sector has done quite well in general, there's definitely going to be some fallout, whether that's some franchise operators, some brands, even some locals that don't make it. So across the country, we're going to absolutely see some vacancies pop up. So if you're sitting on land that you're working to try to find a tenant or developer to buy it, I think you're going to have to move to the market, and that probably means reducing the price of the land. I do think that's something we'll see happen in the next 6-12 months.
Yeah, or just do long-term land leases and hedge your bets, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Another question came in from Jonathan Kraus. I don't know if he has some special insight or not, but he says it appears that office will take a large downturn. With the large resale facilities are losing tenants, meaning I guess there's spaces available. Do you think there will be a large migration from office space into the retail sector? What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we've been seeing that somewhat in the medical field, where you've had medical over the last several years has been gravitating towards like the urgent care clinics, those sort of uses. So we've certainly seen those moving more into retail. I mean, as far as, depends what you're referring to. I mean, could some title companies, as an example, are you staying in the real estate sector, could they start taking some retail space? Yeah, certainly. But I mean, I don't think we're going to start seeing large law firms or accounting firms or general business move from office sector to retail. But I mean, there could be some of that, but I think it'd be more medical would be a sector.
Yeah, the markets that I know, I'm familiar with, retail is still way more expensive than office space. So unless you would benefit from some sort of retail traffic, which, like you said, there's medical and some other uses that would, but most people wouldn't. The other migration, though, I think, which is more prevalent, is retail to industrial. What are you seeing there as far as the shift from, the high street, Main Street, to the side street? Social media is helping businesses conduct, and then you've got things like in restaurants, ghost kitchens popping up all over the place. What are you seeing in that space?
I think you hit it with ghost kitchens. That'd be the predominant. I mean, I think retail is still, it's about the location. I mean, it's location. If you're truly a retail destination, I think you've got to be on a major corridor, on a main street. I don't think you go to a side street. You mentioned as far as ghost kitchens, absolutely. I've been bullish for a while on ghost kitchens. I've not seen any open in my area yet, so I definitely don't think we've seen them pop up significantly just yet. But ghost kitchens in general are going to be on the side streets and the industrial areas. But also it's interesting. I mean, Chili's just came out. They announced their wing concept. The name's escaping me right now, but they're doing them out of their own restaurants. So not really a true ghost kitchen in an industrial, but using a portion of their restaurants to make wings for strictly delivery via DoorDash. Kind of a virtual kitchen within the kitchen. So I thought that was very interesting move by Chili's. But yeah, I agree. I think ghost kitchens will be industrial where the rents are far cheaper, but retail in general, no, I don't think so. Because again, you've got to have the location. You need to have easy access and visibility.
Yeah. I mean, some things won't change. And the only sector that doesn't really move a lot is multifamily. Multifamily is, a multifamily moving into industrial. Probably not in South Florida. I mean, in some markets maybe you get that, but I think we've seen all the changes. The first poll result is out. We have the question is, what do you expect to happen in July and August to lease rates? And 48% of folks say drop slightly. I think that's what my vote would have been, but
I think that would have been my vote too.
I'm going with a drop slightly. So there you have it. You heard it first on the Crexi poll. Let's jump into breaking news. Lululemon just bought Majeure. What are your thoughts on that? Smart move or just?
I love it. I mean, I posted about that on LinkedIn yesterday, and I've actually been starting to shop a little. Yeah, looking for some stuff on Lulu. I'd like to buy some things. I don't own. I spent a lot of money at Lulu. I don't actually own anything myself. I got teenage daughters. I got teenage girls. I think this is a phenomenal move. I think it's just a fantastic brand integration. I mean, we've seen so many brands of fashion that are hot in the moment, and then 3 years later you look. I mean, Under Armour is a great example. I mean, they were really hot for a while, and now they're a has-been. Not saying that was gonna happen with Lulu, but here, I mean, something. I mean, I think it's a really cool fitness type idea and product, and to now integrate it into Lululemon. I think this is phenomenal. I'm very bullish of this move by Lululemon. I think it's in so many.
By the way, have you used Mirror? Is it have you heard anything about it? It looks like an interesting concept. I'd be interesting if anyone on the call is listening in has used Mirror. Put it in the chat there and let us know. I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on it. Maybe it's something we take a look at.
I think this will help them go mainstream. And I mean, if I were Peloton, I'd be real worried right now. I'd be looking over my shoulder big time. And they were, I think, well ahead of Mirror, both market share, brand awareness, and now overnight. If I'm Peloton, I'd be sitting there trying to figure out where the heck do we go from here? What do we do? How do we counterpunch here? Because we may have just gotten past.
Yeah. Well, that's the beautiful thing about capitalism and good ideas. You know, it keeps you on your toes. Let's talk about keeping on toes and capitalism. Amazon. You know, so the question is, when do they take over the world? By the way, Jeff Bezos, great. You're a hell of a guy. I love you. Just in case he is the leader of the world at some point. I'm trying to get that in there. But what do you think the Amazon effect will have on your business, if anything? I mean, you do inline, triple net. It's you know, big box retail, I think, is what's really going to get hurt. But what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, they obviously have a tremendous impact. I mean, everything we do, if we're working with a client as a buyer, I mean, one of the first things we're looking at with deals is what's the impact Amazon can have on them. So no, I mean, we eat, sleep, breathe. We're thinking about Amazon. I think every retailer better be doing that, or they're in trouble. No, I mean, you've got to have an answer for Amazon. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you're in retail, if you're just selling a commodity based on price and that's it, and there's no market differentiation, eventually Amazon's going to put you out of business. So now, I mean, that's where, again, like this Lulu, and now I think this was a phenomenal move for that reason as well. I mean, they're a very unique product, but it's just fitness. It's just clothes. Amazon can sell a lot of clothes and do it cheaper than Lululemon for sure. But now they're integrating a lot of different ideas and even getting more vested with their customer. So that's the sort of idea and forward thinking I think retailers have to be doing right now. I mean,
you're 100% right. I mean, I think if you are a retailer like a Best Buy, I mean, Sears, I mean, I don't know, what's going on with those guys, but, or even like a Michael's or a Dick's or any of those type of retailers, you know, they've got Amazon if you need that thing right now, right? If I got a game in 5 minutes, I need a baseball bat, I'm going to run to Dick's and go pick it up and pay whatever. It doesn't really care. But most purchases you do online, like the last purchase I did was a GoPro. Guess what? I could have gone to Best Buy and picked it up today, but you know what? I got it the next day on Amazon. And sometimes I'm like, man, I shouldn't just do everything on Amazon, but they make it so darn easy. You just have to do it.
I'm curious, is that why you bought the GoPro via Amazon instead of, like you said, going to Best Buy?
Yeah, because I didn't want to get in my car. I didn't need it. I need it for the weekend. I don't need it today. So I'm going to go drive down. Plus, you got this COVID thing and face masks. It's now added an extra level of pain, right? Or disincentive to go do that. And at the end of the day, you know the price is going to be better on Amazon. Even though Best Buy, if you show them the app, they'll match it, right? But I want to go all the way down there for that. And so that's why I did it. So what do these stores have to do to stay competitive? What can't Amazon do? And I'm thinking stuff like entertainment. I'm thinking stuff like education. Like if I go to Best Buy, you got to offer me something better than prices, right? So what can these stores do?
Well, I think you hit it. I mean, I think it's got to be the experience. They've got to be it's got to be customer service. It can't be just we'll match Amazon's price, because if that's the only thing they can offer, well, then I'll still just buy. I still got to get in my car. I still got to worry about putting on a mask. I'll just click a button and it's done in 30 seconds. So I think it's where, using your GoPro as an example, if you felt like going to Best Buy, if you were comfortable getting in the store, that somebody would open the box for you. They'd set it up for you. They'd show you how to use it. They'd answer any questions you have. That, I think, is what it takes. It's got to be not just they're going to match the price. You got to be able to walk out of there and they say, instead of you be fumbling with the box and trying to set it up and trying to figure everything out, you feel like I walked out of there, I can go now use this thing that second. And if you're not doing that, then you don't compete. It can't just be price. It's got to be customer
Barry,
service. That's right. I mean, honestly,
we've just solved retail. We just solved it. I mean, you're right. I got to go to Best Buy because they're going to say at this date and time, you come by, not only are you going to buy your GoPro at the best price, but we're going to show you how to use all the features and how to get the most out of it. And there'll be a class with 5 or 6 or 10 other people who are all thinking of doing the same thing. That's maybe why I buy it there. I mean, at Dick's, you know, if I need something right now, I'm going to go there to get it. But there's 2 reasons what would get me there. One is if they had like performance training, not even for me, for my kids, like, you know, a performance training or skills or coaching or some kind of thing you could go get there, or even live games. What if you could go to a Dick's Sporting and there's like a basketball court in the middle, and you could go watch a game while you pick up a basketball. Now I'm going to go. And but meanwhile, they've got, you know, what's the size of a Dick's? 20,000 square feet. It's huge. And it's got, you know, 20 different types, pairs of shorts and stuff. You don't need that many different brands, you know, pick and choose, put it out more efficiently, but make it more of an experience, right? I mean,
and you said education. I mean, I had somebody a friend of mine brought up as it relates to Dick's, and I thought it was a great idea. What if they brought in medical professionals periodically to talk about the impacts of concussions on for your kids playing football, or they talked about, you know, maybe somebody coming in that, you know, gives you tips for your kids in baseball, whatever. I mean, it's got to be something that's different. I mean, it can't just be, well, we sell the bats cheaper than Amazon.
Batting cages. Why do they not put batting cages in a Dick's?
Or tips on your golf swing. Come in, we're going to have a golf professional coming in every other Tuesday or whatever. Yeah. Something that's unique that Amazon can't do.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I think these people have big companies. They get caught up in their thing and they just don't want to make these changes. It's always the new company that comes in and says, we're going to do it. You know, it takes a bold person to make a decision like that, but well, maybe.
Even along those lines, I mean, Macy's just announced as part of this COVID, and obviously their sales are down significantly. So they're cutting in-store personnel by 25%. And again, I posted this on LinkedIn. I said, horrible idea. I go into Macy's, I walk around, I'm going to try to find somebody. This was pre-COVID.
Oh,
it took me 15 minutes to go find somebody to ring me up. Now you're telling me you got 25% fewer employees? Done. I'm done. I'll order it on Amazon. So that's an example. They're going the opposite direction.
They're going in the opposite direction. Yeah, there's and it's just so much space. I mean, somebody's got to change the way that you do. Walking around that store is basically depressing, and you don't ever see anyone until you've already made all what you're going to buy, and you're walking to the register, and they're like, "Can I help you?" Because they want to sign you up to get their commission or something. I don't know what it is, but
exactly. Crazy. Nobody walked you at the door and let me help you. Am I looking for a suit? Let me walk you to the right person. What are you looking for? If they had that sort of service, which Nordstrom's used to be known for, Home Depot kind of used to be known for, not as much.
They still do it, but not to the extent they used to, for sure.
Right.
The other day I bought something at Nordstrom's. They didn't even walk around the front and hand me the bag. They just like, here, take your stuff. I was like, oh, this is the end of Nordstrom's. So we got a couple other things that we could talk about. I mean, I think we're basically talking about the changing face of retail. What about the design of retail buildings? Obviously we're not gonna want to walk into stores. So curbside pickup. Right. Is there, I think the Cubans had it right, 50, 60 years ago with a little hole in the window and you just go and you pick up your coffee. Yeah. What do you think is going to change in the design of retail moving forward?
I think you hit it. I think Beth Azor is a friend of mine. We've been talking about for a year plus frictionless retail. It needs to be really just very easy, where ideally if you order it online, you just go, it's curbside pickup, you pop your trunk, you're in and out of the store. Maybe if you needed it immediately or even tomorrow, but it's so easy. You just go to the store. I mean, one thing I've not seen any retailer do, and I think they're missing this, for the folks that are really every dollar really matters, using Walmart as an example, because they're a lot of their customers. I mean, if you're a Walmart regular customer, you're probably doing that for value-oriented reasons. Or offer an incentive financially. If they were going to order it online and you have the option of ship it or curbside pickup, it's going to cost money for Amazon to ship it. Offer the customer $1 or $2 off the product to do curbside pickup. That can really matter to a lot of their customers. It saves Walmart money. It saves the customer money. It's a win-win. I've not seen any retailers do that. But you're right. I mean, curbside pickup, to go. It needs to be, scan and go technology, where if I can just scan it on my phone so I don't have to touch anything and just walk out the door with my product. Kind of similar like Amazon's done with the Amazon Go stores, but it doesn't cost tremendous amounts of money in technology. So I think it's got to be just easier and quicker for the customer. What can you do to save the customer time?
Yeah. There's no new ideas, right? It just seems in retail, they're just doing the same thing they've done for 150 years. You walk in, there's a counter, can I help you? That kind of stuff. I mean, I had an idea for a fast casual type of restaurant, which anybody on this call you're willing to do, just let me come and eat for free. And basically the idea is that you walk in, there is no counter. You just walk in, there's little islands. And I think McDonald's is starting to do this. You just pick what you want. And then there's a locker system, and then the kitchen is behind that. And as soon as your food's ready, they go, hey, just locker number 123, you go open it up and your food's ready. Right. There's no, everyone's clustering around the register. Why do we need registers anymore? So I think this COVID is going to change the way that retail looks on the outside for sure, and probably even on the inside. And I can't wait, to be honest with you.
No, I agree. I mean, Publix. I mean, why am I, every time I'm standing in line with 4 people in front of me, it feels like I look at it, are we in 2020? Why am I waiting in line for 15 minutes to check out at a grocery store? We did that 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years. Why is it
100 years ago, Barry? 100 years ago, it was an idea.
Why am I still standing in line at a dang grocery store? Come on.
Right. Well, the problem with grocery stores is, like you said, you got to walk in, they make you go up and down every aisle, which is not efficient, first of all. Right. Then you've got to put everything into a cart. You've got to then take it all out of a cart to put it on that little conveyor, put it back into a cart, then take it to your car, put it back into your car, take it, get to your home, then take it out. I mean, surely there's got to be a better way to do that.
Why can't I just scan that on my phone? Well, I pull up the Publix app, I scan it on my phone, I put it in my own bag, I walk out the door. I don't wait in a line. Come on. It's not that complicated. Why are they doing this?
Absolutely. All right, let's get to some questions. Well, this is a comment. Jonathan says Dick's used to do that. They had climbing walls that went from the ground floor to the 3rd level, closed it all down. I thought it was brilliant. I would go, Dick's, if you're listening, I would go to your store if you had a rock climbing wall. And then Anonymous says, oh, okay. Little Caesars is doing the lockers. Okay, I didn't know that. I haven't been to a Little Caesars in 50 years. I don't know. Is the pizza any good? I don't know. I'll have to go check it out. You order through the app and they put in a warm locker with your own code. You do not have to talk to anyone. Blows Chipotle out of the water. All right, so there you go. We're onto something. And I see people are using the chat feature. So if I haven't gotten to your question, it's because I haven't looked at the chat feature. Let's go into here, see what we got. Okay, yep. Let's see here, post-COVID, we will need interactive places to shop. This is from Theta. We will need interactive places to shop and interact. I see the old Macy's concept of cooking food to sell pots and pans to happen again to Dick's, and even bring a large shop gear to Topgolf. So I think most people seem to agree with this. Justin Langlois, good friend. My investment sales listings are under contract and I owe Crexi a huge debt of gratitude. Keep up the good work. And Barry is the bomb to follow on LinkedIn. That's good. By the way, that's good praise coming from Justin. That's for sure. He's Mr. Post a video a day guy. And then Theta has another question. Comment actually. Japan does great with the food system locker type. A lot of singles and introverts do so, an evolved sushi bar concept. Also, they do the sushi thing, which goes around on the little river.
Yeah.
Love those. I eat way too much when I go to those places, just because I'm just the novelty of it, and I spend too much too. But it's obviously working. All right, so man, we covered a lot. Let's talk about ICSC. Will we ever go back to ICSC? Should ICSC just now be a virtual? Should basically Amazon just run ICSC online? I was just kidding. That may happen. But what are your thoughts about ICSC next May?
I think I don't. I mean, I was going to say I think so, but in reality, I don't. I don't know. It's like Dr. Fauci said, the virus will decide. I hate to say that. I do think we will be back I mean, whether it's next May, I don't know the timing. I do think we will have conferences again. They're an important part of our business, I do believe. I mean, the face-to-face, well, this is great. We're virtual. It's fantastic. We've all gotten used to that. And I don't minimize it. I mean, it really is. But I think we all want to get together with each other, have a drink, have a meal, meet each other in person. Yep. I do think we will be back to conferences. Again, the virus will decide when that is. I mean, I'd love to think it'll be later this year. I doubt that, but I hope next year. I do, and not then the year after. But I don't think there's a scenario where every conference going forward for the rest of our careers is virtual. I don't think that's what we want. I think they'll be a part of our business. I think we're going to see more virtual conferences going forward, just like I think we're going to all be doing more virtual calls and web calls going forward. But it's not going to replace the need or the desire to get together with each other.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I do know that I think it was announced on one of our pro perspectives a few weeks ago that the Atlanta and the Orlando ICSC will be merging, and I believe they're going to host that in November in Orlando. But I also heard that they're waiting to see what happens with they're basically using teenage girls to test whether it's safe to go to Orlando, because they're going to wait until the AAU volleyball tournament has finished, which is running now in July. It's a month later than it usually is. I know that because my daughters have been in that for many years. So they're waiting to see if my daughter gets sick before grown-ass men and women go to ICSC in Orlando. But I believe that will be in November, so we'll see. That will be a test. If that happens in November, then I would imagine that May for ICSC nationally will happen.
I hope so. I do. I hope so.
Yeah. It's great. And by the way, why is it only ICSC retail that has something like that? Why is there nothing why do the industrial guys never get together, or the office guys, or the multifamily? I mean, they have smaller conferences, but nothing as big as retail. It's always wondered why.
I mean, we're fortunate to have ICSC, and I do hope they make their way through this time. And I know they're facing financial challenges like every company is that lost their income source, and they've lost their income source. So I really do hope ICSC gets their way through this. I hope we have confidence, because like you said, I mean, they're really unique to our industry, and they're a credible value and resource to all of us in the retail sector and our business.
100%. So the last question I really want to cover is, leasing for tenants, right? So probably no one had a COVID clause or a pandemic clause, or whatever you want to call it, in their lease. Is that something that tenants are asking for? And is it something that you think landlords will be willing to give? And if so, what does it even look like? I mean, and then the follow-up question I'm going to have for that is, how will lenders deal with that once those start popping up in clauses? So that's a lot. That's probably an hour's topic right there. But what are your thoughts on pandemic clauses?
I mean, you hit it. I mean, ultimately, the lender, how they view these is going to be really critical. I mean, yes, we're going to see these pop up more. LOIs are going to get more complex to negotiate. Leases are going to get more complicated. I mean, I've been saying, the force majeure clause went from being the least negotiated clause in a lease. If attorneys spent 5 minutes discussing force majeure in a lease pre-COVID, that was probably a lot. And now it's probably going to be the most heavily negotiated clause in a lease for the foreseeable future, for the next several years. Starbucks, I know, I understand, has put several clauses in their lease template related to specifically COVID, pandemics, related to lease terminations, related to when they pay rent, when they don't. That's going to become the norm, and developers and owners are going to have to try to navigate through this, and tenants are too, because there's going to have to be a give or take of, what can a developer give that is then financeable, that is then sellable, because if a buyer's not going to be comfortable with it and they can't buy the deal, and a lender can't finance the deal, and the developer can't do the deal. So it all interweaves together with each other. But yes, there are going to be issues.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only way, and I thought about it, not to the extent that any tenant or attorney that's dealing with this has, but just my quick thought on it is that you can't just say to a tenant just can't say to a landlord, hey, I need a clause that says if there's a pandemic that lasts, 6 months, I'm just not going to pay rent for 6 months, because retail can't get built upon that. The system doesn't work. So is it some kind of blend and extend situation? Like for everything that you don't pay, do you then have to tack it on to the end? Do you sort of prorate it throughout the term of the remaining term? Do you have the option to kick them out mutually, or how do you think that will work?
I think these are going to be negotiated different ways. And interestingly, there was a case that was just decided, I think in Wisconsin. I'm not positive of that. It was just a case that just got finished just a few days ago. And the tenant was suing using the force majeure clause as a reason they did not have to pay rent. And the court ultimately decided, I think it was a restaurant, that since they were operating in they could use 25% of their space, they owed 25% of the rent. And this was, we're going to see the force majeure clause be heavily litigated going forward for the next several years. There's going to be a lot of cases. It's going to keep a lot of attorneys very busy. So yeah, I think it'll be, is it something like that? Is it a scenario where the rent automatically gets batted onto the end? I think there's going to be a lot of different ways to skin the cat, as they might say.
Well, wait, I don't want to just dismiss that. That's a pretty big point. So that the ruling was that they could just not pay rent for that period of time. Is that what
they paid for the period of time they were, because of force majeure, because of government mandated shutdowns, not because they just decided to close. It was a shutdown. The court decided that the tenant wanted to pay nothing, the landlord wanted all the rent, and the court ultimately decided that the tenant could operate effectively in 25% of the space, so therefore they owed 25% of the rent. And it'll probably be appealed, and there's going to be a lot of cases like this. We're going to see plenty of this going forward for a while.
Wow. Okay, that's big news right there. Well, I'm out of questions for you, Barry. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go home and take a nap after this. It's been quite a whirlwind chatting with you. Super excited about working with you on Crexi. I know that you've used it a lot. I actually just pulled up if anyone on the call isn't using Crexi and doesn't have their listings on the site, I don't know what you've been doing, but it's the best commercial site out there. I know I'm biased, but it really is. And then the other thing is when you're a pro user, you get to use comps, right? So I just pulled up one of Barry's comps while he was chatting. This is a deal he sold on June 12th, so just closed. Here's all the information you would get on it if you're a pro user. It has the asking cap rate, closing cap rate, all the information, who the buyer was, who the seller was. You guys can get access to this as part of being a Crexi broker. So if you have any questions about how to access Crexi, if you're using Crexi and you don't think you're getting the most out of it, let me know. If you want to upgrade to pro and the local rep that you're dealing with isn't giving you the best deal, call me. I'm the national director. I'll give you a good deal. And the way you can get hold of me is it's real simple. It's paul@crexi.com. Shoot me an email and I will definitely take care of you. Barry, what are you working on for the rest of the week? You got a nice July 4th planned?
We're kind of laying low. We're being cautious. We're in Florida where we're seeing a lot of spikes for the cases. So we'll kind of be hanging out here. I'm excited. I've never seen Hamilton. My kids and my wife have seen it several times. So I'm excited to watch that on Friday online.
Wait, I missed that. Why don't I watch TV? What's happening? There's the Hamilton.
It's premiering on Hamilton, the stage show. You're probably familiar with this, premiering Plus on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they recorded a stage recording, showing of it, and it starts on Friday and just is available anytime online. So I'm looking forward to watching that and
yeah. I'm going to do that too. I know all the songs. I haven't seen, I couldn't afford the show. It's too expensive.
same.
My
kids could afford the show apparently, but I couldn't afford the show.
Well, that's why I can't afford the show, because I got to pay for my kids. So
yeah, same. And I'll be honest,
also,
I was not aware of the comps feature you just showed, so I'm excited to go check that out.
Really? Okay. Well, you learned something new.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll show you then, just while I got you on the call, and there's a few hundred people also listening to your live demo of Crexi, but comps is national. You have access to. Let's see here. What do we have on the far as retail? You have access to. I just pulled up these are your deals. 38 sales that we have for you on Crexi. And then if we go back, you have, it's something like 1 million, it's about 48 million property records on Crexi that you would have access to as a pro broker. And I just looked up, there's like 1.5 million retail comps on Crexi that you can just go into right now as a pro broker and use that. The other thing that I really want to make sure you know about is, this is your profile that's on Crexi. If you have listings on Crexi, you will automatically have one of these. But what you can do is you can go in and you can update your about. So if you want to change that, your active listings will automatically populate, and then any closed properties will automatically pop up here. Okay, so all your closed listings are here. And why that's critical to you, Barry, and to all the other brokers out there is, what we want to do on Crexi is let sellers, buyers, anyone that wants to hire you for services, have a place for them to find you. So we have a broker directory in Crexi, and who will show up at the top is the person who is the best person for that property type and location. It's not the person who paid us, 20 bucks a month or what. We don't sell spaces like that. This is just, are you the best person for the job? And because you have listings like that, and because you've sold properties like that, and that you log into Crexi and you keep your listings up to date, and probably a few other things that push the algorithm to the top, you will show up at the top of that broker directory. So anyone on the call right now, go to Crexi.com. You can look up the broker directory, see where you place. And again, give me a call, or better yet, shoot me an email, paul@Crexi.com, and I'll make sure you're getting the most out of this platform. But a lot of people don't know this, but we have more listings in Crexi than the competitor does in pretty much every market across America, which people are shocked at. They're like, no, you guys are still a startup. No, we're beyond that right now. We have almost 400,000 listings in Crexi, and growing at we were just talking about this before the call, growing at a pretty rapid rate. So again, really thank you, Barry, for being an early adopter of Crexi. Using it, giving us your feedback. We've made improvements just by you telling us what you like and what you don't. And I really want to thank you. There is one question, which I'm going to contact you, Ryan, on that one. He wants to know what the cost is. It's not that I don't want to tell everyone what the cost is, but I just need to know what, Ryan, you're going to use it for, and then that will affect that. But I'll reach out to you and find out how we can help you the most. So that being said, I'm going to let you get on with the rest of your day, Barry. Again, I really appreciate your time. Always a pleasure chatting with you. And well, let's talk soon. Hopefully we can meet and grab a coffee or lunch or something like that in the near future.
Sounds good. Be well, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Barry. Have a great day. See you. Bye-bye.